Welcome to Cat Eye US Stock. We watch markets with calm focus and sharp instincts. It's Wednesday, May 6th, 2026. And today was pure risk on. Oil broke down hard on Iran deal hopes. Energy got crushed. And that basically cleared the runway for an AI-led chase. Semiconductors lit up the tape. Megacap tech did the heavy lifting. And the market ripped to fresh records anyway. Fast, aggressive, and very momentum forward. On the S&P 500 Heatmap, a sea of green, roughly 3/4 of the market cap participating. The brightest squares were semiconductors and communication services. Megacap tech was broadly higher. Names like Nvidia, Google, Meta, Tesla, and Apple, all green. And then, there was the obvious exception, energy. A solid, aggressive red block with Exxon and Chevron down hard. That heat map pattern tells you the money flow story. Capital rotated decisively into growth, and AI beta, two inputs hit together. First, oil sank hard, punishing energy and easing an inflation headline. Second, semis re-accelerated on earnings repricing, led by AMD. So, what was the trade? Sell the hedges, buy the future. Defensives like staples and utilities were mostly ignored, while industrials and parts of financials participated just enough to keep the rally from feeling like a one-lane move. Zooming out, the session's tension wasn't really recession versus expansion, it was more like geopolitics and commodity shock versus tech valuation, and price action answered it by ripping to records anyway. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq both pushed to new highs. But keep one internal contradiction on your radar. Arista Networks sank post-earnings, even as semis screamed higher. Today's tape rewarded blowout beats and punished anything that was merely good. And on the other side of the ledger, the energy dump was synchronized. Exxon and Chevron moved like a block with Crude. Over on the chatter side, the big narrative today was oil, sliding on hopes of progress toward a US-Iran deal. Basically the idea that more supply risk could come off the table. But let's keep the framing disciplined here. This is headline-driven, and not something the market can verify in real time. If that story shifts, crude and energy equities can whipsaw fast. AMD was the ignition switch. The stock surged almost 19% after a Q1 beat and stronger Q2 guidance tied to robust AI and data center demand. Look, in a tape like today's, a move that big in a mega-cap semiconductor isn't just a one-stock story. It forces re-risking, chasing, and sympathy bids, all across the AI supply chain. Nvidia did what bellwethers do on record days. It confirmed the trade. The stock rose just under 6% as semiconductor momentum re-accelerated alongside AMD's print and a broader risk on tape. When Nvidia is moving with the market making highs, it tends to anchor both systematic and discretionary risk-taking. Supermicrocomputer was the high beta pressure valve. The stock ripped nearly 25% on aggressive bidding across AI hardware and infrastructure. This was very much a sympathy and positioning-driven squeeze. When SMCI runs like this, it's a clean signal that traders are leaning hard into leveraged AI exposure. Arista Networks was the warning flare. Shares fell nearly 14% in a post-earnings reset. It was a classic sell-the-news reaction, where investors focused on margin headwinds and lofty expectations, despite solid results. On a day when AI was getting bid everywhere, this was a stark reminder. The market is rewarding blowout and punishing nuance. On the other side of the ledger, Exxon. Exxon dropped about 4% as oil prices plunged, fueled by hopes of progress toward a deal that could ease Middle East supply risk. The key point here is how synchronized it was. Energy beta got sold as a block, and it functioned as a direct funding source for the tech chase. Google added quality growth torque. The stock gained over 2% as communication services led alongside semis, and megacap growth stayed bid. Look, on a day when energy was being liquidated, Google being firmly green helped the rally look broader, and a lot less like a single-corner speculation. Looking ahead, we've got 3 near-term focal points on the calendar. First, crude. If Middle East headline flow evolves, oil and energy equities will stay volatile. Second, the AI earnings bar. Today showed the market rewarding AMD-style upside and punishing nuance, so guidance tone matters. And third, next week's macro run. We've got CPI on Tuesday, May 12th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern, PPI on Wednesday, May 13th at 8:30 a.m. and retail sales on Thursday, May 14th, alongside unemployment claims. So that's the day. Oil down, AI up, and record closes with semis and mega-cap tech in total control. Energy was the obvious casualty, and defensives didn't really matter from here. It's all about follow-through. Does AI leadership hold, and do crude headlines keep driving that rotation? Keep an eye on AMD and Nvidia for the tone and on oil-linked names for any snapback. Thank you for watching Cat Eye US Stock. Stay curious, stay calm, and we'll see you next time.